Hello everyone and welcome to the Hunger Games. Now I just want to point out that alchemy is not actually me, it was a fake me. The brilliance behind, well, the somewhat crappy performance of alchemy is Kratos. Give him a hand, everybody. He kind of helped organize this whole event, and since I'm late getting it out, second place is now, now instead of first place there's going to be 3. 100 credits, 25 mil, and 10 mil. Figure that's a fair compensation. So, we gotta pick our 3 to win. Of course, alchemy, orc. Come on, how can I not pick them? And our third and final choice. I know, we'll pick them along the way. The bloodbath. I'm gonna burp. I did. Beelzebub runs. Perception runs. Zombie takes a handful of throwing knives. Mr. T finds a canteen full of water. Woodstock runs. Jenny and Trigger fight for back. Trigger strangles Jenny with the straps and runs. Oh. That's just uncalled for. Did you have to strangle him to death with the straps of the back? Philo runs. Crusade grabs a backpack and retreats. Sorcerer finds a full canteen of water. Biocunt runs. T-Slime finds a canteen full of water. SD4 runs. Ozzy takes a handful of throwing knives. I've seen these used before, ladies and gentlemen. Into domes. And, Ozzy's got the look for it. Hermes Conrad runs. Hope runs. Jaguar runs. Big Zed finds Justin hiding in the cornucopia and kills her. Big Rip. Alk runs. Norwegian runs. A lot of you guys are running away. Investor runs. Intrap runs. Minimal runs. Nicest runs. I forgot that guy. I just glanced over him. Felicia grabs a jar of fishing bait while Simone gets fishing gear. Nice. Tai Chi runs. Jesse runs. Timo runs. Armageddon runs for... grabs a jar of fishing bait while Gangster G gets fishing gear. Everyone's going fishing, boys. Should takes a spear from inside the cornucopia. The fur grabs a shield, leaning on the cornucopia. T-Rex obviously grabs a shield off the cornucopia. Implication grabs a shield, leaning on the... Everyone's going for the shields today, boys. They know they must have the strong defense. Manu 15 runs into the cornucopia and hides. Not seeing the body 2 feet behind him of the person who tried last time. Sugar runs. King Seal runs. Hey guys runs. One Punch Man finds a canteen full of water. Ant runs. Mr. Blonde spears plow in the abdomen. Ooh. Very painful. Relinquish finds a bag of explosives. Pone 6 runs. Aft decapitated knife. Oh, knight with a sword. And that's Taco Titan. Day 1. The adventure begins as the participants wake up. They only had a first few hours in the bloodbath dome before they all got a night full of sleep. Now here they are waking up in the morning, deciding what they're going to do. Big Zed decides to go hunting to get nourishment. Philo makes a wooden spear, also thinking food and killing. Minimal attacks Sugar, but he manages to escape. Mr. T questions why the hell he even decided to do this. One Punch Man scares Ant off. Perception searches for a water source. Hope makes a slingshot. Crusade searches for a water source. And I'm going to take a drink of my water source. Gots to have the H2O. I hate your name, Psycho. Tries to spear a fish with a trident. Simon is pricked by thorns while picking berries. Kinda wonder if that's lethal. Hey Guys practices her archery. Ozzy discovers a river. Armageddon explores the area. The Fur and F work together for the day. Investor hunts further tributes. SD4 explores the arena. T-Slime makes a slingshot. Timo severely slices T-Rex with a sword. Oh no, Orc! You should have went for the food. Sorcerer scares Alchemy off. Weak Kratos, getting scared by his sorcerer. Mr. Bond questions her sanity. King Seal receives a clean water from an unknown sponsor. Jesse searches for firewood. Implication practices her archery. Entrap picks flowers. Beelzebub hunts for other tributes. Hermes Conrad, Norwegian, and Felicia hunt for other tributes. Relinquish questions her sanity. A lot of people questioning their sanity. Capone decapitates Biocunt with a sword in a gruesomely shocking display that left everyone in the area running. Jaguar even constructed a shack just to stay away from Capone. It was that gruesome. Nisus attempts to climb a tree but falls to his death. In the end, his niceness got him nowhere. Poor guy. Zombie, Trigger, Gangster, and Woodstock track down and kill Manu 512. Tachi can't handle the circumstances and commits suicide. Weak. 9 cannon shots can be heard in the distance. Night 1. As night I was gonna go descends into the ground. Everyone knows that they must either take this time to cook valuable food and try not to be spotted, or get those restful Z's, or perhaps to drink water. Night 1. As Ismenian questions her sanity, Jaguar defeats Zombie in a fight but spares her life. Norwegian receives a hatchet from an unknown sponsor. One Punch Man receives explosives from an unknown sponsor. Big Zed screams for help. Entrap stays awake all night. Jesse receives clean water from an unknown sponsor. Mr. T sets up camp for the night. Trigger screams for help, while SD4 tries to sing herself to sleep. Hey Guys attempts to start a fire but is unsuccessful and might die of hypothermia. Oh, I burped. Implication sets up camp for the night. Sorcerer destroys Woodstock supplies while she is sleeping. Crusade sets up camp for the night. Investor tries to sing himself to sleep. Ozzy cries herself to sleep. And Timo tends to his wounds. Now, on the other end of the spectrum, you have Hope, Perception, Shh, all singing cheerful songs as they glance around the cornucopia, filled with the riches of war. And, some bodies that had to take off the campus, nothing big. Philo, Lamageddon, and Gangster OG sleep in shifts. Sugar, Af, Capone, and King Seal tell each other ghost stories to lighten the mood. Ant, Relinquish, and Mr. Blonde discuss the game and what might happen in the morning. Minimal convinces Beelzebub to snuggle with him. You never know. You know what happens with snuggling people? Broken necks. Hermes Conrad cooks her food before putting her fire out. Felicia receives clean water from an unknown sponsor. Alchemy tries to treat her infection. T-Slime cannot handle the circumstances and commits suicide. That sounds about T-Slime, who was also Batman. Batman. Had it right the first time. The fur falls into a pit and dies. His years of military experience getting him nowhere. As the morning rises and everyone wakes up, everyone hunts for food, water. The same thing they've been doing this whole time. Jizzy and Gangster OG hunt for the tributes. Ozzy receives a hatchet from an unknown sponsor who is very invested with the fact that he also has the knives. One Punch Man searches for a water source, desperately dehydrated, needing water today. Relinquish Mr. Bond and Entrap hunt for other tributes. Woodstock thinks about home. Timo tries to spearfish with a trident to get some form of meat in his body. Big Zed hunts for other tributes. Sugar and SS minions split up and search for resources. Philo overhears Hope and Sorcerer talking in the distance. Beelzebub receives fresh food from an unknown sponsor. Sugar, Capone, and King Seal hunt for other tributes. SD4 tries to spearfish with a trident. Perception scares Ant off, just like in the game. Oh, shots fired. Crusade goes hunting. Af searches for a water source. Hermes Conrad questions her sanity. Shh attacks Implication, but she manages to escape. Perception and Norwegian hunt for other tributes. Jaguar makes a slingshot. Zombie constructs a shack. Investors strangle I got choked up because I was being strangled after engaging in a fist fight. Poor Kratos. So weak. Can't even hold my image and get a paper. Can you? You even died, which is kind of funny. Minimal makes a slingshot. Hey Guys camouflages herself into the bushes. Mr. T tries to spearfish with a trident. Lamageddon discovers a cave. Proceed. That was a car. 3 cannon shots can be heard in the distance. Poor me. Night 2. Hey Guy screams for help. After seems clean water from an unknown sponsor. Big Zed loses sight of where he is. Jesse passes out from exhaustion. Minimal and Woodstock start fighting, but Minimal runs away and kills Woodstock. I hate your name, Psycho. Capone 666 attempts to start a fire but is unsuccessful. Relinquish catches a break and gets some fresh water. Crusade thinks about winning. Ah, how glorious it would be to have those 100 credits that were promised like 2 days ago. Entrap and Mr. Blonde talk about the tributes still live. Hope and Investor huddle for warmth. Broken necks, man. I already saw what Investor did with alchemy, so I'd be scared. Mr. T kills Philo as he tries to run away. Norwegian sets up camp for the night. Jaguar treats her infection. Sorcerer attempts to start a fire but is unsuccessful. Beelzebub attempts to climb a tree but falls on Lumageddon, killing them both. Oh god, that's gotta be great. I mean, how did that go down? Yes, I was taking a drink of water mid-sentence. People do that. Just like Lumageddon has a sword and Beelzebub falls on them and just impales them both, killing them. God, that'd be a sight to behold. Ozzy climbs a tree to rest. Sugar cannot handle the circumstances and commits suicide. Felicia, SD4, Ant, and Simon tell each other ghost stories to lighten the mood. Sugar receives explosives from an unknown sponsor. King Seal destroys One Punch Man's supplies while he is asleep. Implication destroys Gangster OG supplies while he is asleep. Zombie receives medical supplies from an unknown sponsor. Timo and Hermes Conrad talk about the tributes still alive. And while Perception falls into a pit and dies. How sad. Day 3. Big Zed searches for a water source. Mr. T tries to spear fish with a trident. You gotta respect the shack making of King Seal. Investor explores the arena, trying to get a leg up on everything, you know. He knows how to invest, which means he knows how to pick a good spot. Jaguar searches for firewood. Receives fresh water from an unknown sponsor. Entrap travels to higher ground. Crusade attacks SS Minion, but he manages to escape. Gangster OG attacks Amp, but he manages to escape. Hey Guys is thinking about home. Sugar and F work together for the day. Sorcerer constructs a shack. You gotta appreciate the shack making, man. You two have earned major respect, and I hope you go very far. Minimal camouflages herself into the bushes. Norwegian receives an explosive from an unknown sponsor. Oh, Jesse stabs Implication in the back with a trident. The backstabbing is real. Relinquish and Hermes Conrad work together for the day. Timo searches for firewood. Zombie goes hunting. Capone goes hunting. Hope is pricked by thorns while picking berries. Oh yeah, I just said that without flaw. Yeah. SD4 severely injures Ozzy, but puts her out of her misery. Oh, poor Ozzy. Well, SD4, you gotta do something with those throwing blades, man. One Punch Man collects fruit from a tree. Finally getting some form of hydration, so he doesn't die. Felicia tries to sleep through the entire day. And, well, Mr. Blonde looks smooth, but is not as smooth as he thinks, because he dies of dysentery from drinking from a dirty lake. 9 cannon shots can be heard in the distance. Rip to all those dead people. Night 3. Zombie is awoken by nightmares. Gangster OG receives clean water. Crusade sets a fire, but stays hidden. Honestly, doing it pretty damn well, but the darkness is thick. Relinquish sets up a camera for the night. Felicia forces Hermes Conrad to kill Jesse or Trigger. She refuses, so Felicia kills her instead. Rip. Jaguar sets an explosive off, killing Hope, Norwegian, SS Minion, and AF. Damn, Jaguar going in for the blood. 4 kills. Investor poisons SD4's drink. She drinks it and dies. Why would you accept a drink from anyone in this time? You're trying to kill each other, guys. Big Zed and sleep in shifts. One Punch Man loses sight of where he is. Ant and Hey Guys sleep in shifts. Mr. T is unable to start a fire and sleeps without warmth and possibly will die of hypothermia. Timo severely injures Minimal but puts her out of her misery. Him. Sorcerer quietly hums. As Capone cries himself to sleep. King Seal and Entrap talk about the tributes still alive. Day 4. Mr. T camouflages himself into the bushes. Just to watch people run around like idiots. Capone and Hey Guys work together for the day. Trigger constructs a shack. The shack gets you far, man. Sorcerer fishes. Jaguar practices her archery. She scares One Punch Man off. Gangster G receives fresh food from an unknown sponsor. Entrap fishes. Felicia hunts for other tributes. Crusade overhears Aunt and Jessie talking in the distance. Relinquish practices her archery. Timo and King Seal hunt for other tributes. Big Zed and Vester hunt for other tributes. And Zombie fishes. 7 cannon shots can be heard in the distance. 4 of those being from one explosion. Night 4. Relinquish defeats Ant. Whoa, excuse me. I'll get a burp. Yes. Mr. T, Timo, and Zombie sleeps in shifts. King Sir G attempts to start a fire but is unsuccessful. One Punch Man thinks about home. Entrap tends to Sorcerer's wounds. Felicia and Shh tell stories about themselves to each other. Jesse questions his sanity. Crusade, Big Zed, Jaguar, and Hey Guys tell each other ghost stories to lighten the mood. Capone 666 tends to his wounds. Triggers climbs a tree to rest. King Seal tries to sing himself to sleep. Investor, after scouting out so much good real estate, falls into a pit and dies. It's free real estate. Day 5. Relinquish picks flowers. Obviously confused what he's supposed to be doing here. Sorcerer and Hey Guys get into a fight. Sorcerer triumphantly kills them both. Jaguar discovers a fire. Timo forces Mr. T to kill Jessie or Capone 6. She refuses, so Timo kills her instead. King Seal receives fresh food from an unknown sponsor. Entrap goes hunting. I kinda hope Entrap wins it, you know? King Sir G constructs a shack. The OG shack. Shh and Zombie work together for the day. Big Zed, One Punch Man, and Crusade hunt for other tributes. Felicia searches for firewood. And Trigger is just picking flowers. You guys know what you're supposed to be doing. You're supposed to be killing. One Punch Man goes to sleep. Gangster OG starts a fire. Trigger destroys Capone 666's supplies while he is asleep. Jaguar receives medical supplies from an unknown sponsor. Felicia destroys Zombie's supplies while he is asleep. Sorcerer quietly hums. Jesse and Entrap sleep in shifts. King Seal tends to his wounds. Who knows how he got them? We don't. No one was watching him all day. Big Zed climbs a tree to rest. Crusade and Relinquish threaten a double suicide. It fails and they die. Which I've still never understood. Timo was awoke by nightmares. And loses sight of where he is. Hopefully he'll walk off a cliff so I don't have to keep saying his name. The feast! The cornucopia is replenished with food, supplies, weapons, and memoirs from the tribute's families. Felicia shoots an arrow into Zombie's head. Big Zed decides not to go to the feast. Jaguar decides also not to go. Well, Entrap, Capone, and One Punch Man all decide not to go. They do not think it has a good supply, okay? King Sir G, Sorcerer, and Jesse confront each other, but grab what they want to slowly avoid conflict. Everyone just wants their memoirs, man. Shh ambushes Timo and kills him. Someone needs to kill Shh. You know, I don't want to say his name. King Seal and Trigger also decide, just nah, not worth it. Day 6. Capone overhears Jaguar and Felicia talking in the distance, but decides just to stay put, you know? Oh, thank you, Jesse. The savior rat mouse thing. Jesse throws a knife into Shh's head. Big Zed picks flowers. King Sir G receives fresh food from an unknown sponsor. Trigger questions her sanity. Her. One Punch Man constructs a shack. Look, you guys are gonna make it with the shack. And Entrap, you know, he's upgrading with that wooden spear. And Sorcerer scares King Seal off. 5 cannon shots can be heard in the distance. Finally, I don't have to say his name. Night 6, Felicia thinks about winning. Capone 6 receives a hatchet from an unknown sponsor. Oh, there's a flashing outside, like a fire truck? Or an ambulance? Weird. Felicia thinks about winning. Capone receives a hatchet from an unknown sponsor. Gangster G overpowers Trigger, killing her. Oof. Jaguar screams for help. Big Zed looks at the night sky. Thought he was going to lose his sanity. One Punch Man screams for help. He's dangling off a cliff and cannot pull himself up. Entrap looks at the night sky, wondering what he would do with 100 credits if he actually won this game. Sorcerers receive clean water from an unknown sponsor. Jesse also receives explosives. And King Seal receives a hatchet. What those things will entail, we'll almost certainly find out. Day 7. Capone and Entrap hunt for tributes. Sorcerer explores the arena. Jesse makes a wooden spear. And, Felicia pulls the good old camouflage into the bushes. Youngster G cannot handle the circumstances and just commits suicide in the hut. That's why he built it. He also got some rope at the beginning and just hung himself. Most epic death in the game. Jaguar bleeds out due to untreated injuries. One Punch Man dies of dysentery, still hanging on the cliff. What a tragic fate. Some say his fingers are still there. Big Zed receives medical supplies from an unknown sponsor. And King Seal, dude who's just been coasting, receives clean water from an unknown sponsor. Full cannon shots can be heard in the distance. Night 7. Sorcerer thinks about winning. Jesse loses sight of where he is. Felicia decapitates Big Zed with a sword. Oh, just gruesome. King Seal kills Capone as he tries to run, and Entrap tends to his wounds. Day 8. Felicia travels to higher ground. King Seal and Jesse split up to search for resources, deciding, there's only like 3 other people left. Teaming up would be good. Sorcerer receives an explosive. Oh man, I looked at the bottom before finishing Sorcerers, and now I'm sad. Sorcerer receives an explosive from an unknown sponsor. An Entrap falls into the pit and dies. Poor Entrap. 3 cannon shots can be heard in the distance. King Shield shoots an arrow at Felicia, but misses and hits Sorcerer instead. Oh no! And Jesse passes out from exhaustion. Okay guys, here's how it's going so far. We have King Seal, Felicia, and Jesse. You all have secured you a nice prize. But who will take out the big win? Day 9. Jesse travels to higher ground. King Seal hunts for other tributes. And Felicia tries to sleep through the entire day, getting no sleep the night prior. 1 cannon shot can be heard in the distance. Poor Sorcerer, he was just walking by and, he just got hit in the head with an arrow. Poor shot, some say. Night 9. Felicia stays awake all night. Oh, and Jesse kills King Seal as he tries to run away. But alas, King Seal was too high, like I am right now trying to film this video, and failed just as bad as I did, but hey, that's okay. Jesse kills King Seal as he tries to run. While King Seal, he still got 10 mils, it's a win. Day 10. Felicia unknowingly eats toxic berries. Oh, wait. Oh, Felicia. Wait, then. Oh, the winner is Jesse from District 7. I'm like, wait, what happened to Jesse, though? Well, there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Let's check out the stats. Okay, so Jesse, you got 100 credits. Felicia, you got 25 mil, and King Seal, you got 10 mil. And I will have my associates pass those rewards out here shortly. Now, I'll be posting this also in Discord, probably, in the music section. Sending the link out to people, But while we're here, let's check out the stats. I think it was Jaguar who got the 4 kills. Did anyone beat him on kills? No, I don't think so. Here's a short summary if you'd just rather read this. You can see everything from start to finish. Yep, Jaguar got the most kills. One day I'm going to do like a most kills and like the district placements. Like have a group challenge for like the district, Maybe like a whole district can win. But I'll do that with the 2s, And then like whoever gets the most kill gets like a bonus prize. Simulate again, we're done. Go away, thing. Congrats to the winners, and I'll have your prizes out to you shortly.